This is Tristan, the bow tie toy guy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's episode of my toy and doll hunting series, we are visiting Terre Haute, Indiana to check out the Vendors Village of Terre Haute. This is a large indoor flea market. I will walk around and film any vendors that have action figures, dolls, or non-sport trading cards for sale. And then stay tuned at the end of the video for the haul portion to see if I pick up anything from my personal collection. If you enjoy watching toy hunting videos on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel, and let's get started. We're starting out with classic 90s holiday Barbies from this first vendor. They had several to choose from. Now let's move on to another vendor with this glass showcase filled with gorgeous vintage My Little Ponies. I know a lot of you watching are My Little Pony collectors yourself, so I always like to show them when I come across them. Below that, they also have a great selection of Monster High and Sailor Moon dolls. Below that, they have Bratz. So there was a great variety in this particular showcase. Continuing down below, they also had Care Bears, L.O.L Surprise OMG, Rainbow High, Shadow High, and a few other toys. Like I said, this showcase had a great variety. And then the very top, they have more Monster High. Look at all these cool Frankenstein dolls. She is definitely my favorite Monster High character. Let me know in the comments down below who your favorite Monster High character is. Look at this vintage mint in box FloJo doll from LJN. Here is another showcase with amazing variety. Look at all this vintage strawberry shortcake. They also had Monchi cheese, including mint on card PVC minifigures, which you don't see very often, and vintage strawberry shortcake dolls with fashions. Below that, they had a great selection of vintage Care Bears. They also had Barbie in this display, some of which I've never seen before. They also had Wuzzles, more Care Bears, a Bratz doll hiding in the back, and then down below, Monster High, more Strawberry Shortcake, Cabbage Patch Kids, Raggedy Ann and Andy. Below that, a Loungefly Furby backpack and a vintage Cabbage Patch Kids doll wearing what I think is a handmade fashion. This next vendor showcase had a variety as well, including Cowboys of Moo Mesa, some of the modern NECA figures, a vintage Star Wars Jabba the Hutt mint in box, that's a vintage Rainbow Bright ragdoll, and a mint on card Star Ears, which is something you also don't see very often. I normally only showcase toys and non-sport trading cards on the channel, but I definitely had to film this gorgeous art piece of a mermaid. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see more things like this when I'm at flea markets and antique malls. Speaking of, look at this really cute handmade white poodle planter. And if you're a Boyds Bears collector, this particular vendor definitely has you covered. They had dozens of them. This vendor had an entire bag of loose L.O.L surprise tots, as well as some of the pets. Continuing with loose toys, this particular box has vintage fast food drive-thru toys, some of which are still mint in package, like these teeny beanie babies. These are more modern plushes that are loose. And then this bag has a vintage Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers fast food drive-thru toy in it. Do any of you remember the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes character, Foghorn Leghorn? They also had a more modern toy with this mint-in-box Zelf. Here we find more vintage My Little Pony, and that one in the middle is a clone, I believe, or what they refer to as a fakie. This vendor also had some dolls, like this Barbie. Now we're getting into the section of the video with Funko Pop vinyl figures. I try to group them together when I'm filming, simply because there are often so many vendors at flea markets that are selling Funko Pop vinyl figures. I do actively collect. I'm just selective about which ones I pick out for my own personal collection. Look at this particular vendor. They had just a ton of them. Continuing with Funko Pop vinyl figures, this vendor's space also had comic books as well as other toys, including from the Loyal Subjects Los Angeles, these Garbage Pail Kids static figures. I have this entire collection at home and absolutely love them. I really wish they would bring them back with additional characters. They also had vintage action figures from X-Men 2099, as well as Batman, the animated series. Of course, at almost any flea market, you're going to find fast food drive-thru toys, which of course I love because I collect them, especially when I find Barbie. Now let's move on to the next vendor's space with vintage Star Wars: The Power of the Force figures. We're going to end our toy hunt today with this Mint-In Box 35th Anniversary Barbie, a reproduction modeled after the original 1959 doll, as well as this cute statue of Pluto. I am back from checking out the Vendors Village Flea Market in Terre Haute, Indiana. Thank you for sticking around to the end for the haul portion. Let me show you what I found. I found some pretty cool stuff, and not surprisingly, it's all made by Mattel. If it's made by Mattel, it's swell. So we'll start with, if you've followed my channel in the past, you know that the Barbie Fairytopia, Fairytopia Mermaidia, and Fairytopia Magic of the Rainbow dolls are my holy grails within doll collecting for Barbie specifically. I almost never find anything. So I found a Barbie Fairytopia necklace doll. I didn't even know that these existed. It's a little cute green fairy doll in a capsule with a beaded chain, and you can take her out and also wear her as a little ring, which is adorable. This particular character is named Jewel. They each had a name, and she was released in 2005. Like I said, I didn't even know that this existed, so I picked that up. And then switching over to Monster High, of course, still Mattel, I found 3 of the mini dolls that I was missing still in the package. I display these loose in a large glass jar, being careful that they don't get paint rub when I put them in against one another. I think it's a really cute display to do it that way next to the 1/6 scale larger dolls. So I picked these 3 up, and they were released in 2015. And then last but not least, it might be difficult to see, but I picked out the 1994 Happy Holidays Barbie in the Caucasian with the platinum blonde and the really pretty gold dress. I have a display where I'm trying to put the 1990 through 1999 holiday dolls, and I was missing this one, so I picked her up. Really beautiful doll. And that is everything I found. Please let me know in the comments down below. Did you see anything that you would have picked up? Subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.